Hello, in this video I'm going to go over how to create better lighting for our animation. I do this so that I don't have any unexpected deformations while I'm doing my animation. I don't want to do my lighting last and then find out something looks weird when I could have done it in the beginning and worked around it. So I'll just do create and create a plane, and then I'm going to create kind of like a studio lighting setup kind of backdrop. So I'm going to select this backdrop and extrude it up. So I'm going to have something like this. I'm looking at my camera, making sure that it looks okay. So I'm just expanding it out so I don't accidentally see any edges, kind of thing. And then over here I can just select this edge and do a bevel. So let's do bevel, segments, I think, and fraction. There we go. I'll get a little softer. I'm gonna delete this edge, and yeah. Now if I hit 3, we'll get a nice beveling that's happening here. Alright, so the next thing is lighting. So let me just move this over so I see the whole image. If this is bothering you, can click on the name and that will give you more real estate to look at. And then I can move this over so I see more of it. So some settings we can click on here is multi-sample. See how that cleaned up my edges. And this is ambient occlusion. We'll add like darkening around places that geometry is closer. And I'll put on my textured, and I'll put on lighting, which will make everything dark. But we need lights, so we'll go to create and do a directional light. And I know that when I created it, I selected it, or you can click here to get to the outliner. And I'm going to go look through selected, and I'll just do it kind of an angled. And look up here. So this is kind of simulates a sun. So I'm going to do something like this, like a 3/4 kind of lighting setup here. And let's see. Go back to perspective. And I'm just going to look a little closer at this. So we're not seeing shadows because we don't have it on here. So I'm going to turn on shadows. And I can turn on shadows here just to see how they're looking. And lighting. See how that's going like that. I might turn this just so I see the shadow more. There we go. That looks pretty good. So my shadows are pretty dark, so I will use another light to lighten that up by going over to light and do a ambient light. And ambient light kind of adds light everywhere. It's like, it kind of acts like a all-around light that, oh, this is weird, content browser. So I'm going to click on that and hit Control A to get my attribute editor, and then I can move it over into one of the sides here. It's a little testy though, because I want to be able to get to my attribute editor. So that, there we are. And I'm going to decrease the intensity and then bring this up. So this kind of simulates kind of like bounce light a little bit. You can use it that way. Alright, and then I'll increase this up a bit. Lighten it up a little bit. Now that feels much better. And then here I can make that more yellow, give a more natural look to it. Make that really subtle though. Don't go crazy with that. Another thing is you'll see here that my shadows are kind of jaggedy. So I can go over to shadows here and go to use depth map and increase this up all the way, and you'll get finer. Not perfect, but it's better than it was. All right, so another thing over here, I'm going to go over and say show, and then turn off my manipulators. Oops. Actually, I'm going to hit show none, and then go back to, and then say show polygons. And that will show only the things I want, and then I can turn off this little grid also. And there we are. Then we have a good start, and we can use this side to animate, to set our keys, to move the ball, and then we'll use the other one just as our final output and see where we are. We can always turn this back by going to show and then going to NURBS curves, and you'll see your controls in there. But I don't want to see them, so I'm going to turn them off. Now I'm going to save up and create increment, and that's good for this video.